the I Make a Difference podcast, an adventure of exploration of your human self, the conditioned and unhealed parts of you, and your true self, the natural, real and powerful you. A pathway where you unravel, heal and uncover on your journey back to you. Just a brief connect back to the last I Make a Difference podcast episode, where I explored being visibly invisible. And one of the key things about being invisible is that we can get really focused on the fact that we feel not important, we're not cared about, we're insignificant, that people don't connect with us, that they are not interested in us. And all of those elements tend to be focused on our self-worth, or rather the lack of it. And yet, being visible and also being invisible also has a really strong element to it around our self-belief. And self-belief is a human concept because at the core of us and who we naturally are, there's no dilution of any belief. There's just wholeness and a total trust and a total belief in ourselves. And we know who we are and we see who we are. But as human beings, with our conditioning and our emotional processing that goes on for us, our self-belief gets diluted and becomes a lack of. Because when we experience not being visible or feeling invisible to other people and not seen or heard, and our self-belief is sitting behind it, it's when we feel people don't see us for who we truly are. Or they're only seeing us in certain contexts. And those certain contexts tend to be ones that tend to demean us or tend to focus on aspects of us where we've still got areas for growth, where people see us as bad or wrong or weak or too strong, or you've got such great clarity. It's where they have a level of needing to see you through certain eyes because they need to keep themselves protected, because they don't want to deal with their own personal issues and emotional processing in relation to you. Because if they did deal with it, they'd have to take responsibility for it. So there's an element that our not being seen for who we truly are isn't just our responsibility, and it's not just us doing that. It's also other people's inability to see us because of where they're at. But as we know, we can't change other people, but we can influence them by who we are and what we do. But putting that aside for a moment, what is most important is you being visible to yourself and you being able to see you and you being able to see who you truly are. And that's what we're going to explore in this podcast. What is self-belief? What creates a lack of it? And I'll give you a couple of tips for being able to work with and grow your self-belief. I'm your host, Melinda Cates. And self-belief's an interesting one because if you go and Google it, you'll find that people often relate self-belief to being self-confidence. And yes, they are interlinked and they are connected, but there are different elements to your self-belief. And self-confidence is only one of the areas that relates to your self-belief. Because I'm sure you've come across people who have come across extremely self-confident, and yet they lack self-belief. And how do you know the difference? Well, they're confident in their ability to do things. So they trust their ability to be able to perhaps give a speech, to be able to connect with people, their ability to manage what's going on for them, their ability to even drive a car. They know they can do it and they trust their ability. But self-belief goes deeper and broader than that. Self-belief is also about trusting yourself. It's about trusting who you are, not just what you do, but trusting in and believing in who you are. It's about trusting your knowing, the voice of your soul. It's about trusting the messages that the true you gives you. It's about trusting the communication. It's about trusting the decisions you make. It's about knowing that you are doing right by you. And also, your self-belief influences your decision-making and how you make decisions. Your self-belief influences your ability and how you express yourself. Because at the core of your self-belief, it is about seeing, knowing, and owning the qualities and the attributes that make you who you are. It's about knowing the essence of you. And what are some of those qualities and attributes? Well, it's your freedom, it's your creativity, it's your expressiveness, it's your strength, it's your gentleness, it's your understanding, it's your care, it's your consideration, your awareness levels, your individuality, your freedom, your playfulness. And why we end up with a lack of experiencing, accessing, and feeling and expressing those aspects of ourselves, and in some cases not even being able to see those parts of ourselves, is because of the conditioning we've been through, where we have had all of those beautiful parts of us that we express naturally as children. They were put down, they were made wrong. And if people are still not seeing you for who you truly are, then potentially you're still experiencing some of that. They were not and are not accepting you for who you are. But that also is what you're doing to you if you're experiencing a lack of self-belief. Because your freedom, your strength, your clarity, your creativity, your individuality, all of those qualities influence the expression of how you are in relationship with other people, how you approach tasks, how you express yourself. They influence every area of your life. And the more you can own and see those parts of you, then the more you own the beauty and the goodness of who you are. And if you're allowing your kindness to be fully expressed, if you're shining your light fully, if you have nothing limiting or hindering the expression of your creativity, imagine what's possible in your life. Imagine what's possible in your relationships. Imagine what's possible in what you do and how you be. And you become so much more accepting of yourself, so much more you fit in you because you are becoming and you are being you. And the people who can't connect with you and the people who cannot see you for who you truly are, it's because your light shines so brightly that it can highlight where others' light is not shining, where they've dimmed their own light and where they don't see the beauty and the goodness of who they are. And that's not your responsibility to carry. Your responsibility is to yourself. It's to you being able to really hear, and these are some of the tips for growing your self-belief. It's for you to really hear when someone gives you feedback about who you are and what they see in you, is for you to really hear them, for you to receive that feedback, and for you to look inwards into you to see those parts of yourself. And many times I've experienced this, where I have people who have said, or a lady in particular who said to me, Mins, because that's what some people call me, that's my nickname, you are so kind. And at the time this person said it to me, I struggled to see that I was kind in any way. And if you experience this yourself, where the feedback that someone is giving you is something that you don't even hear, or if you do hear it, you can't see it in yourself, then do what I did. And I said to this person, what is it I do and how do I express that kindness? Can you help me see it through your eyes so I can start to grow my ability to own my own kindness? And her feedback to me was that I actually sit and really listen to people, and the kindness shines through my eyes and they can feel the energy coming off me. Another one that I received and do occasionally hear from people is, oh, it's so good to hear your voice. So I've asked people, what is it about my voice that leaves you with this feeling? Because I'm not in your shoes and I don't experience what you experience. And that will help me see me through your eyes. It's one thing being able to hear and see through their eyes what they experience with regards to you and how they truly see you. The next step is you consciously being open with your energy, open with your whole being to actually receiving that feedback from them. And for you to stop and really look inwards and firstly see through their eyes how you express these qualities, how these qualities emanate and shine from you, how you are you. Because when you can see them, then you become more aware of them. And then it's about you being aware of that type of processing within you. And when you are actually sharing your kindness, or when you are speaking and really hearing your voice and experiencing the feeling that is behind it that other people are picking up on. And the more you own you, the more you become you. The real, true, and natural you. So value your self-belief. Give yourself the opportunity to be able to connect to that trust in you, to connect to the trust of your ability, the trust of who you are, and to connect to the qualities and attributes that make you who you are. And see that light and that beautiful jewel that shines at the core of you. And why? I'm going to add a self-worth one in here, and that is you deserve to. You deserve to fully be you, and you deserve to be the true you. And if you want to drop me a line, drop me an email, you can send it to Melinda at imakeadifference.com and share with me your processing, share with me your questions. Because if you do want to ask me questions about self-belief or anything else that I cover in any of these podcasts, I really welcome hearing from you and I'm happy to respond.